The Amazing Spider-Man movie sucked, and they hardly followed any of the storylines that were available at the time for Spider-Man. Homecoming at least follows a good, decent bit of some of the modern Spider-Man stories that are, you know, out. It's like, I just don't fucking know what was going on with the Amazing Spider-Man. Like, hold on. Why did it start me there?
Why would you spend all day playing?
Oh, that's right. Saved right before I got to Venom. It just starts it back at home. I just swung back to the Bugle. I was about to say, I was like, what the fuck? I just take the Amazing Spider-Man movies as a personal insult. Spider-Man's the first superhero I've even ever known about, was introduced to the 60s and the 80s cartoon, no less, funny enough. So I experienced some of the first media that ever existed of Spider-Man outside of the original comics.
I think I remember watching cartoons.
I know, given your age, I'm pretty sure it was probably the 80s series that you were watching probably while it was running. I'm fucking young as shit. And I somehow watched,
No,
like...
It would have been the 90s, because I was born in 85, so I wouldn't have really started watching cartoons.
Actually, no,
till
wait,
I thought
the 80s series lasted longer than what it actually did. No, it wouldn't be. I caught the 90s series on the tail end of it, similarly to how I thought you probably did of the 80s series. But I remember watching that as well. It came out on, over here the network was called Fox Kids. Along with the X-Men cartoon. I don't know if you've seen that as well. It was on the same channel, essentially.
I used to love the X-Men.
Yeah, that was my first foray into, like, comic book superheroes made by, like, the legends of, you know, Jack Kirby and shit. The only other thing
that was like when Gambit was a big part of it, and he always had cards.
I'm in Queens and listen.
One of Gambit's other mutant powers is the ability to stay relevant outside of the 90s. God damn. Holy shit. Crashes into the ground. Game just crashes. Like, is this some, like, what is this? Crashes into the ground and then the game just crashes. It's like some sort of allegory or something.
When you die in the Matrix, you die in real life.
If you do a crash landing as Venom, the game just crashes. It's not consistent either, because the first time I played it didn't do that. It crashed when I was climbing a wall. I'm not exactly sure as to why that is. I mean, the issues should be present with playing as normal Spider-Man instead of Venom, so it can't be an issue with the way the CPU is approximating itself. I mean, I could always eat up more processing power by changing the floating point, the way the CPU does floating point to mimic the actual GameCube, which, you know, goodbye frames, but the game should work. so odd. Venom climbs the wall, the game crashes.
Maybe it can't handle physics.
Physics should be different from what Peter
Different.
has. I don't know if whatever certain effects and the way that they did that. Maybe it's done in software. I don't think so. Nothing in this game actually would be beyond the graphical API and the GameCube's GPU. GPU in the GameCube is fucking amazing.
I'm late for work at the Daily Bugle.
Same with the
What
Xbox.
what could it be other than that or file corruption?
It's like, I know what the issue is, because if it's crashing like that, it's related to what the CPU is, how the CPU is being recompiled, and how it's emulating or trying to approximate emulating the software while running the normal floating point units that my i5 would have, and then it being recompiled, which doesn't take much, processing power, or at least less than what run an interpreter would. It's just weird that it's so specific.
Yeah, character specific.
And then on top of that, like, action specific with the character. It's not like some crazy shit like, oh, if you try to do this exploit in the game, it'll crash the game with this character. So it's just like, yeah, if you fucking jump, game just blows up. Is that because when I first played it, it didn't crash, like in the same spot that it keeps doing it. So it's not consistent. So I know there's a chance where it just will let me do what I want to do. Eventually, I'm gonna save as Venom so I don't have to travel to the Bugle again and shit. Yep, crashed again when I did a leap and landed at the full height.